Hi, I'm Genny Williams with Extra Living at eXp Realty, and today I'm coming to you from our brand new County Services Building. You're watching Life Along 280 in Chelsea. Thanks so much for watching today. We are at the brand new County Services Building, and I want to ask you, I've got famous people here today. You probably know both of them from keeping up with everything that goes on with Shelby County, and you know that I'm such a huge fan of living in Shelby County. I've been here for over 20 years, and Life Along 280 in Chelsea is so special, and these two actually help make it such a special place to live. So I want you to meet our sheriff, John.
Hi, good to meet you.
So glad that he could be here today. And Alan.
Hi.
So Alan, you might want to share a little bit about what you do.
I'm the 911 director for Shelby County. We answer all of the 911 calls for Shelby County, and we dispatch police and fire departments. We have 28 fire departments that we take care of. We handle the law enforcement for the sheriff's office, Harpersville, Vincent, and the city of Montevallo.
Okay, so that's a huge responsibility, and you have to work hand in hand together, I'm sure, just to manage that. How many calls a day do you think you get on 911?
We do about 100,000 911 calls a year. I'd have to do the math.
Right.
Above the day.
You can do the math at home. That'll be your homework. So 100,000 calls. Are most of them frantic, or is it mostly frivolous?
Most of them are routine. I wouldn't say frivolous, but I mean, a lot of people are calling to report disturbances in their neighborhoods and barking dogs, a lot of traffic accidents, a lot of suspicious people, but usually all of those turn out to be pretty routine.
Right.
But the actual number of real emergencies is pretty small. It's a small percentage. Maybe 10%, 15%.
Okay, well that's good. And did you see how respectful he was there? Not frivolous. That was my word, not his.
That's right. We want you to call 911 anytime you think you need to call 911. It's much better to call us and not necessarily need us than it is to procrastinate and call somewhere or look for another number instead. We just prefer you call us first.
Okay,
we can
so
always direct you in the right place.
And that's really good to know, especially when you're saying like suspicious activity in your neighborhoods. Right? Like anything that may be going on that people can contribute. And I will give you such kudos because the deputies, I feel like, in Shelby County work so hard, and they'll come by to do wellness checks on my neighbors, and I had a deputy stop by in High Chaparrals where I live not too long ago to find out if I knew anything about the neighbor next door, because she was found in a hospital in Dothan and didn't know where she was. And that's just so kind. Our community really looks out for each other, and I know that last night my husband had to call 911 and make a police report on an issue, and he had a really good experience doing that. So it's a good reason to choose to live here in Shelby County, because also our crime rate's pretty low.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have a reduced crime rate compared to areas around Shelby County, but really low violent crime, and I'm very appreciative of that. A lot of it has to do with the citizen engagement with the sheriff's office and the fact that when they see suspicious things, they call it in. And that hasn't always been that way. We have developed that over probably the last decade of getting the deputies to step into and engage themselves in with the public. And they have community calendars on their mobile data terminals, and they try to make appearances everywhere on their beat and get to know the citizens, because basically every deputy and myself as sheriff, we shop at the grocery store, we go to the local churches, and our kids are in the schools, so we're just a citizen as well, and we try to get that across to the constituents here in Shelby County and let them know that we're here for them. And I always Alan, funny he said 911, because every time I speak publicly, I start off with 911 and I end with 911, because people think they're bothering us, but that's what we're here for. We're here for them.
Well, then I think that's probably an issue we need to make sure to get out. Like, never be too afraid to call 911 for any issue. They're here to help, and 100,000 calls in a year, they're going to get to you and make sure you get help. So let's talk a little bit about this brand new building we've got here. I mean, you probably didn't even know we have a new building right here on 280.
Yes, it's although the sheriff's office has our North Station centered here, and it's probably a small portion of the building. The county services as well as 911 take up the majority of the building, that and the community service rooms that are here available to the public, and it's also a voting precinct. But you know, I wish the county manager could have been here, but he has had a conflict, so he asked me to basically tell you how it came about. And it came about, Alex Duchak, who is the building's named after, was our former county manager, and he saw the need and planned accordingly so that they were able to build this building and not borrow any money. So it's been a work in progress for a few years of planning, but you know, a big portion of it was 911 because they had outgrown their area. The sheriff needed a North Station because we were renting in a strip mall, much like County Services was in Inverness, and we just needed to expand and offer more services to the citizens. And this is an absolutely beautiful building, and we are very, very lucky to have it, and thank the county commission for their vision and their forethought and the planning they did financially to be able to build it for us.
Well, it's absolutely beautiful, and it's really such a great location because it is still close to Inverness. It's right off 280, and it's really not in a high traffic area. So what would one of our community members need to stop by for?
Well, if you needed to renew your driver's license, renew your pistol permit, that would be something that's here. Aaliyah has an office here, the Alabama law enforcement agency that issues driver's license, for instance. And then also, you know, you can come here and get your tags renewed. You can get your, you know, if you purchase a new car, you have to get your title changed. They have the water bills can be paid here. There's just about every one of the county services is offered here, so it's very fortunate for the citizens.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm so excited because I didn't even know all that. So again, another great reason to live life along 280 in Chelsea. So as we're here and we're talking about not only this beautiful building and more services that we provide to the people that live in Shelby County, you know, what is something that people who would be considering moving here need to know?
Well, as sheriff, there's a lot of beautiful neighborhoods here. Housing is always on the go. I've lived in the county about almost 30 years, and it has continually been, even during the economic turndown, we were still building houses. Not at the rate we are now, but and it's continued that way. The growth here due to the fact that we have a economic development called 58 Inc. who comes in and attracts businesses into our county, which brings people into our county, and we continue to grow every year. This past decade wasn't the type of growth that we had in previous decades, but it really helped a lot. And in the development of 280, the city of Chelsea grew by 50%. The city of Calera grew on the west side by 50%. Those are two upcoming cities that I'm kind of near and dear to Chelsea because the sheriff's office is one of our contracts that we provide police services for. So Chelsea it's kind of a boomer. I look forward to really grow in the next 10 years.
So Alan, John said that you were kind of outgrowing your 911 facilities before, and you've got a fresh new facility here. So what makes this one different?
So this space is twice the size of what we had before. We were in about 4,000 square feet. We originally had a building that was designed to hold 6 dispatch positions, and in the 25 years that we've been in that space, we've gone from 6 to 11 positions. So we've really outgrown the space. So the new building is 8,000 square feet that we have, plus we have the shared space that we've already talked about, the break room, which I think you'll get an opportunity to see, a training room that we share with the sheriff's office, just a lot of common space that the county commission has made available for us to use. As far as the space itself, our old facility was a good structure, but this one was purpose built for 911. It was designed by the architect to support a 911 center. It's a FEMA-rated storm shelter, which means we can withstand 250-mile-an-hour winds without any interruption in services. We have our own air conditioning supplies, our own water supply, we have our own restrooms, everything within this hardened facility, so that if a tornado were to come through the area, we would still be able to continue to operate, to answer our calls, and to dispatch first responders. And that's something we did not have in the old building. We also have our own backup generator, and all of those services are also inside of a protected box that's part of the storm shelter. So we're behind 12 inches of concrete with reinforced steel and 2-inch thick windows. It's a very secure facility. It provides an excellent place for our employees to work.
Well, good. That's exciting that you were able to give that to your employees as well, because you have 11 now.
We have 11 positions that we staff. The room will hold, we built a room that we could grow into maybe as many as 22 positions. We built 14 seats for right now to accommodate our current needs. And
25 years in one space.
Yes.
Can you imagine what 25 years here is going to be like?
I can't imagine what 25 years is, but I hope we've prepared for 25 years. I hope that we're still in a good space and that we're able to stay where we are.
One thing that this building's going to be used for, as well as, you know, they have a beautiful place for us. It's a voting precinct, so, and community groups can come in and use the community room. But we also have a training room here that's designed for 911, trains people regularly. We, at the Sheriff's Office, train always, as well as the Alabama Department Law Enforcement Agency. But we're also going to do some of the citizens programs here at the new building. The Women's Safety Program, we intend on doing it here going forward, as well as the Citizens Academy for the Sheriff's Office. We do that down in Columbiana, both of them now, but we're going to try to move them up here and make it easier, because, you know, the majority of the population is up on this part of the county and people are having to drive to Columbiana. This would make it a lot more convenient for them, as well as the services that are offered here. So the convenience was a lot to do with the justification of building this building.
Well, for me, either way, I'm in the middle, but, you know, my life is this way. So you'd have to go make a special trip that way. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but this is just pure luxury. So when you say women's safety services, does that mean like self-defense classes?
It's a basic course that our female deputies teach, and they teach it women to women on how to always be aware of where you are and what's going on around you is the number one thing. And then basic ways to not become a target, and that has a lot to do with it, as well as what to do in the event you are going to be victimized or somebody's making an attempt. So try to head that off so you don't have any problems in that area. And it gets rave reviews every time we put it on. We try to put it on at least a dozen times a year. So our web page has the sign up for it, and you just go to shelbyso.com and go to citizen programs and women's safety course, and we will sign you up.
Well, I'll be sure to get the word out on that. We need to have programs like that, because a target can always be one that's not worried about it. We need training on this. So thank y'all so much for joining me today and just sharing, you know, what's behind the building, what you have to offer here with our awesome growing community. And I know we're going to keep growing and growing and growing, and I know that puts a lot of pressure on both of you.
Well, I just mentioned a few of the services offered here. There's a lot of things. I just remembered that there's actually a way to renew your tag and do those services through a drive-in window here.
Oh, wow.
You know, so, and then there'll be, for crowded times, there's going to be a kiosk in the lobby where you take a number, so to speak, and then they notify you. You just keep watching on the screens, and your number will come up. So.
Okay, it sounds like you need to definitely make a trip here. If you've ever had to wait in line to renew your driver's license, you know what I'm talking about. It's only because, again, it's such a favorite county to live in the state of Alabama. So now you've got more options and more choices, and that's why life along 280 in Chelsea is a great place to live.